Is Days Gone 2 canceled, or is it just hiding? Here's a question that refuses to die. What happened to Days Gone 2? Welcome to the channel, everybody. Chaos here. The first game may have launched to mixed reviews, but over time, it built up a massive fan base. People love the atmosphere, the bike mechanics, and yeah, Deacon grew on us, but despite solid sales, Sony shut the door on the sequel. Or did they? In today's video, we're going to break down all the leaks, the rumors, the glimmers of hope, and the gut punches from developers and insiders. I want you guys to stick around because the full story of Days Gone 2 might be even more complicated than you guys think. Drop a like, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, make sure you turn on those notifications so you never miss an upload, ring that bell, check those boxes, and I think the game deserved more. Days Gone released in 2019. Kind of got slammed by critics at launch, but if you're like me, you don't really listen to critics. You play it yourself, you watch it yourself, and you make your own judgment. But they said it was buggy, long load times, inconsistent tone. But the community, they didn't care. The game sold over 9 million copies. 9 million copies. Found even more success on Steam, where it became kind of like a sleeper hit. That kind of post-launch success is usually sequel-worthy, right? Right? Well, Sony didn't see it that way. Now, this is the heartbreak part. I'm going to get it out of the way for you guys. The gut punch. Jeff Ross, the former director of Days Gone, confirmed that Ben Studio pitched Days Gone 2, and Sony straight up rejected it. According to Ross, they had plans for deeper bike mechanics, smarter AI, a co-op mode, and an even more emotional story. But Sony passed on all of it. They cited the mixed reviews and lack of long-term franchise potential. Yeah, they were looking for dollar signs and they did not think it was there. Before we move on, guys, we're giving away a PS5 at 10,000 subscribers. The pinned comment right below this video has all the details, multiple ways to enter, and they are all free. Somebody's going to win a PS5 at 10,000 subs, so go get in on that. So, after the rejection, Ben Studio was briefly pulled into working on a multiplayer mode for The Last of Us. But then they pushed back, and eventually they got greenlit to work on a brand new IP. This confirmed that Sony was basically shelving Days Gone. So Jeff Ross, he left the studio, clearly frustrated by how the whole situation played out. The vibe was clear. Ben was moving on, but some fans, they weren't ready to go. Now, despite the confirmation of the cancellation, Days Gone 2 rumors keep popping up. Some claim it's secretly in development for the PlayStation 6. Others think Ben Studio's new IP that I talked about earlier is actually a spiritual successor. And then there's the fact that Sony has re-released and promoted Days Gone multiple times, including on the PS Plus and the PC. If they were totally done with the IP, why would you keep pushing it? And I still don't understand. I guess I don't see the numbers, but you almost eclipsed 10 million copies sold. How does that not warrant a shot at a sequel, especially when the game, the original game, keeps growing in popularity? Now, Jeff Ross, he's dropped more than a few cryptic hints. In early 2024, he tweeted that he still wants to make Days Gone 2. He even hinted he might pitch it again with another team or a publisher. This happens a lot. You have the developer, the creator, and they don't get the green light on the next one, so they go shop around. He also suggested that fan support is the only thing that can bring it back. We've seen how big and how many mountains that communities can actually move. The more noise we make, the more likely it is that Sony will listen, or maybe a third party will pick up the idea and run with it. Let's just say, hypothetically here, is it coming back? The Days Gone 2 could be in secret development. What would that actually look like? Rumors suggest more emphasis on survival, larger hordes, and a deeper crafting system involved. And even a playable Sarah storyline has been teased in the past. Now, if they kept it PS5 PC only, we could see a much more detailed open world with dynamic weather. We could have real-time threat zones. And yes, we talked earlier about a co-op survival mode. The potential is massive, and I don't think that's too ambitious at all. I'm telling you right now, a co-op survival mode could be absolutely huge. It could. I mean, if you get a game and you refine all the mechanics and you build off the bike mechanics and then you add dynamic weather and you have those real-time threat zones, bigger zombie hordes, and yes, a co-op survival mode where you could play with a buddy or you could play with up to 4. I mean, I'm thinking Left 4 Dead 2 vibes here. I really, really am. Once again, I think the potential could be massive. So here's the reality. Days Gone 2 was pitched by Jeff Ross. It was rejected. This is fact. And then it was Left 4 Dead. No pun intended. But the fans never gave up. Just like with Titanfall 3 fans, they never give up, and it doesn't look like Jeff Ross is giving up either. Now, Sony may have shut the door, but the door is not locked. If enough support continues, which it is right now, this could be another Dead Space or even a Cyberpunk story, something that finds new life years later. We've seen this happen multiple times. Mirror's Edge was the same thing. A game that was just deemed done, and then all of a sudden it comes back. And it's because of the community and the gamers and the support and the push that they push back on it. Now, right now, the most likely scenario, either a spiritual sequel from Bend. That's right, the original developing studio could do a spiritual sequel. Maybe that's how they kind of sneak it under the radar with Sony. Sony says, no, we are not doing a Days Gone 2. So Bend says, okay, well, we'll create a similar storyline that's parallel with it in the same universe. And maybe Deacon will be involved somehow, or Sarah, but we'll bring in another protagonist as well. So it's not exactly the same. I don't really know how that would work, sneaking that underneath Sony's eyes. But you never know. These big publishers, you think they should know what's going on with stuff and make decisions accordingly, but look at this. Sony said no to Days Gone 2. You and me are probably shaking our heads saying, why would you not give it a try? So, likely scenarios, either a spiritual successor from Bend or sequel, or a long shot surprise announcement at the start of the next console cycle. Now, until then, we wait. And then hopefully we ride. But then again, we did a video not too long ago talking about how the Xbox wants to break the cycle of consoles where they and the PlayStation console launch kind of side by side. Looks like, allegedly, they want to break that and come out early. We did a video talking about the Xbox Prime, the next Xbox console, possibly even dropping in 2026. Now, if that was the case, then you could have Days Gone 2 be a launch title. That would be absolutely perfect if it started. I mean, if it does, it does. It's wishful thinking. I don't know. Do you guys think Sony should bring back Days Gone 2? Do you think they're missing a huge opportunity? Drop your thoughts below. Did the original deserve a sequel? Maybe you don't think it did. Maybe you think we're barking up the wrong tree here. I don't know. We'll find out. I'll keep you guys updated if anything new comes from it. And make sure you guys get in on that PS5 giveaway. It is the pinned comment at the bottom. I'll see you guys soon.